5 years ago, we were in peak pandemic isolation. The world was seemingly put on pause, leaving so many of us grasping at straws for ways to find entertainment. Maybe you picked up the piano again, or perhaps you finally finished that book series that's been sitting on your shelf. For many, though, this became an era of crafting. Since COVID, Google searches relating to arts and crafts have grown by 63%, with a popular form of crafting being woven arts, such as crochet and knitting. COVID has also introduced many of us to the reality of climate change, and thus more people have shown an increase in interest towards sustainable living. Combining concerns for the environment with an interest in art, eco-friendly homemade alternatives to common household items suddenly had a surge in popularity. That is where Kelp Wanted comes in. While acrylic yarn has been the go-to material for crochet and knitting for decades, this impending need for sustainable solutions means it's time to shake up the previous trends. That's why we created the automated biofiber extruder, so that any at-home crafter can experiment with eco-friendly crafting materials without needing to sweat over the manufacturing. It starts with the raw materials. Our main ingredient is sodium alginate, which is a derivative from a brown kelp called sargassum. This kelp is invasive and abundant in coastal areas, so repurposing it for a creative, low-waste project not only gives a durable product, but also cleans up the beaches. Next, we add glycerin, which when extruded through a calcium chloride solution, this jelly-like yarn immediately coagulates. This process produces yarn that is able to be woven into whatever your crafting heart desires. While it is possible to extrude by hand, this process is difficult. It requires tools and math to make sure that all the ratios are even, and most at-home crafters do not have access to this kind of equipment. It is also extremely time-consuming to make by hand. To go from this took over 45 minutes of mixing, and that is just to create the solution. You also have to extrude and spool with high precision so that the yarn does not break when transferring out of the coagulation bath. The automated extruder can fix these issues. The syringe pump extrudes the solution at a constant speed, keeping the diameter of the yarn consistent throughout. The spool winds up the yarn from the coagulation bath, working on a timer so that the extruder is pushing at the same rate as it is spooling. The custom bath uses pins to create additional tension that improve chain alignment within the polymer and also increase the time sitting in the solution. As well, there is a divider between the calcium chloride in water so that it can coagulate and get rinsed all before entering the spool. In addition to a solid mechanical system, the material properties of the solution have also been improved from original recipes. Using a matrix of different ingredient combinations and drying techniques, the optimal ratios were determined to create a yarn capable of withstanding strengths required to crochet. Our automated extruder takes away those inconsistencies so that the final product is of a quality comparable to something bought at a store. Check out Kelp Wanted's latest invention at the Capstone Expo on Tuesday, April 22nd to see yarn samples and a product assembly. See you later!